Alright, everybody, welcome back to a brand new video. And today we're going to be counting down the top 10 best cards from Breakthrough. It might be a little early to really decide what the best cards are, but I think I can do this list. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Now, at number 10, we have Burning Energy. So, Burning Energy is a fairly interesting card since it is a special energy fire type. So, basically, if this card is discarded by an attack of the fire Pokemon this card is attached to, then attach this card from your discard pile to that Pokemon after attacking. So say I used Scorching Fang on Pyroar and discarded the energy for the 90, I would actually get the burning energy back, so I would not actually lose the energy. So this card is great for fire decks like Camerupt, Mega Houndoom, Pyroar, Charizard EX. It's a very solid card for fire decks, and that's why it comes in at the number 10 spot. Coming in at the number 9 spot, it's actually a two-way tie between Bridget and Giovanni's Scheme. I really couldn't decide which one to put on this the number 9 spot. I wanted to put Bridget, but then Giovanni's Scheme was like, yeah, this card's interesting. So Giovanni's Scheme is interesting because it has the ability to have two effects. You can either draw a card into a 5 in your hand, which isn't that great, but then its second effect is kind of why this card could be useful. It allows your Pokemon's attacks to do 20 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. So this is a great card in just cases where you can play it down and stuff like Night March, Mega Houndoom, Yveltal, Mega Rayquaza. All those decks can do 20 more damage, and that can actually make the difference. You can take one-hit knockouts just because of this. I don't think you're going to use it ever when you won't take a one-hit knockout, but in the event where you will knock them out in one hit, you will use the second effect. That's why Giovanni's Scheme is here. But then we also have Bridget, which I really like just because it allows you to search your deck for 3 basic Pokemon EX. No, sorry. Search your deck for 1 basic Pokemon EX, I read that wrong. Or 3 basic Pokemon and put them on your bench. This basically is like a Pokemon collector. It's only useful for basic decks. I don't think you're ever going to use it to grab an EX. I think it's only going to be used for those kind of, basic decks. So it's a very good card for those Stage 1, Stage 2 type decks. Coming in at number 8, we have another 2 cards, or technically 1 card. It's just going to be Houndoom and Mega Houndoom EX. Houndoom EX is a great card because Melting Horn is a very powerful attack, just because, Houndoom Bunnelby. And then we have Mega Houndoom EX, which is also pretty strong because Inferno Fang is actually a pretty decent attack. For 2 fires, you do 80, you discard all those fires if you want to do 160, obviously with burning energies and all kinds of stuff. You can make that damage do a lot more, and that's why I think Mega Houndoom has potential to be a very powerful deck. I don't know how powerful, I already made a video on it, but Mega Houndoom is just good because that attack can really, be strong. You can take one-hit knockouts sometimes with, like, the bats and whatnot, so Mega Houndoom and Houndoom EX come in at the number 8 slot. Coming in at number 7, we have Octillery. Octillery is a better version of Electrode, but not better than Magnezone Prime. So, Octillery's ability, Abyssal Hand. Once your turn before you attack, you may draw a card until you have 5 in your hand, which is a very strong effect. So basically, you can just, drop a card until you have 5 in your hand. It's kind of almost acts as your supporter for the turn. Not as good as Shaman, but it is still strong. It's also level ballable. That's kind of funny. But I think this card has potential in a lot of decks. A lot of decks might play this card just because that ability to draw extra cards is very nice. It can help speed up some decks. It's a very powerful ability, so I like Octillery quite a bit, and that's why it comes in at the number 7 spot. Coming in at number 6, we have Super Rod. Super Rod is obviously got reprinted, and it's a fairly interesting card. Basically, shuffle 3 and any combination of Pokemon and basic energy cards from your discard pile into your deck. This card saw a good amount of play when it was in the format, and I think it'll see a lot of play still. Being able to get some Pokemon and some basic energies back is always nice to have. So Super Rod does come in at number 6. I just think this might be a staple. Who knows? At number 5, we have Judge, another card that got reprinted from the Heart Gold Soul Silver days. Judge is a fairly strong card because, well, each player shuffles his or her hand in your deck and draws 4 cards. It's a great disruption card. It might be draw support, but I highly doubt it. It's mainly used for kind of the disruption idea. It also can shut down Gourgeist and Metagross. But just making both players shuffle cards with that 4 in your hand is great, especially in a format where N isn't in the format anymore and we're stuck with Ace Trainer. I think Judge is a very strong card, and I really like Judge. So it comes in at number 5. At number 4, we have another quote-unquote combination of cards. That's going to be Zoroark and then Zoroark Break. So Zoroark is a very, very strong card. I really like Zoroark a lot. It's stage 1 with stand-in, which is basically the same thing as Russian on Keldeo. It's a great card in a lot of decks. And then Mind Jack also is a very powerful attack. Just 30 plus 10 more damage for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon, which really does add up just because you can do like a max of 160 damage, and if they play Skyfield, well, you're going to be hitting even harder. So Zoroark is a very strong card. But then we also have Zoroark Break, which I think also has a ton of potential. Because Foul Play, you can choose one of your opponent's attacks and use this attack without the energy costs. So you don't have to use, like, say you wanted to copy Emerald Break on Mega Rayquaza. You only have to use one Dark Energy, and if you have a full bench, or even a bigger bench than that, you can just smash them for a lot of damage with that Emerald Break. So I think Zoroark Break has some potential. There's a lot of interesting attacks you can mimic, like Chaos Wheel and stuff like that. Especially for one Dark, that is very, very strong. And yeah, that's why Zoroark and Zoroark Break do come in at the number 4 spot. Coming in at number 3 is Mega Mewtwo Y EX. So I was debating putting this at number 2, but I kind of passed upon it just because I think this card kind of is. I think it's a little too hyped. It is obviously a strong card. That's why it's number 3. But there's just one problem with this card, and that is the fact it's Psychic type. A big reason why this card might be a little weak is because Gengars, Wobbuffets, Crobats, and Night March and Pumpkaboo and whatnot really will hurt this card. And honestly, I don't really think this card is going to be super, 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 super good. But obviously, I think this card is still amazing. But it's just, it has a lot of weaknesses to like Gengars, Wobbuffets, Bats, Trevenants even. And obviously, the big one is Pumpkaboo. So I don't know how competitive this will truly, truly be with that stuff in the format, but it's still a very powerful card, and I definitely wouldn't be surprised if there were some decks popping up with Mega Mewtwo Y. Coming in at number 2 is going to be Magnezone, and I think Magnezone, right? Yeah, just Magnezone. So number 2 is Magnezone. I just spoiled the number 1 spot, whatever. You probably already knew what it was. But Magnezone comes in at number 2. The reason I put this higher than Mega Mewtwo is because Magnezone is great. It's a stage 2, which is a bit of a flaw, but the fact that it acts as a Blastoise slash Emboar for lightning types is great, especially because it combos well with Raikou, Mega Manectric, Mega Ampharos. Just a ton of cards combo really well with Magnezone. I just really think Magnezone is a very, very good card. I just love it. It also combos well in the expanded format with Rayquaza EX from Dragon's Exalted. So this card is just amazing. It's great. I'm glad we got this. Obviously, it acts as lightning types for those Emboar slash kind of black. That made no sense, but the point is it's a very, very strong card, and I would not be surprised if this card became a very big contender. So, yeah, at number 2, we have Magnezone. Coming in the number 1 spot, you already guessed it, is obviously Floatstone. There was just no other pick. I really just, going through the set, I could not find a better card than Floatstone to beat the number 1 spot. Floatstone is hands down one of the best tool cards, probably the best. I think it's better than Muscle Band, to be honest. Having the ability to have your Pokemon have free retreat cost is great. It works well with Keldeo. It works well with that Zoroark I just talked about. You can put it on anything, and you can create a lot of combos. I mean, we've seen this with, like, Night March. You know, you can put the Floatstone on, like, a Shaman, bring it up, and then you'd have that free retreat, so you can dig for your Night March, put the Night March, retreat the Shaman with the Floatstone on it, bring up the Night March, you can keep that combo going, which really hurts the opponent. Floatstone is a great card. It gets out of those, Lysander locks. It gives that Pokemon free retreat. It's just an amazing tool card, and I'm glad that it's back in the standard format. It really is going to make things a lot better now for standard. Floatstone, an amazing card. And yeah, that is the top 10 best cards in Breakthrough. I do have some honorable mentions I want to go into really quickly. The first one is Raichu Break. I didn't make the list just because I don't think it's that great. Grambolt is interesting with Magnezone and Electric, but I don't know how well this card will be. And then we have Noivern Break, the second honorable mention. Another break card, I'm kind of, confused on if this is good or not. It's definitely interesting with double Dragon Energies, and obviously the Furious Fist Noivern combos really well with this. I just don't know how good it will be. But yeah, that's why it's an honorable mention. Same thing with Gengar. Gengar is interesting, but the fact that it's stage 2, and I don't even know if you'll be able to use Creepshow on that turn that you wanted to, kind of makes Gengar a little weird. So I just put it as an honorable mention. It's definitely an interesting card, but I don't know. Next is Empoleon. This was almost going to make the number 10 spot, but Empoleon is great because Dignified Fighter allows each of your base Pokemon stacks to do 20 more damage. This could be great with Seismitoad EX in the standard format. It's going to be great with Miltank. I think Empoleon has a lot of potential, in my opinion, with a lot of different cards. The next honorable mention goes to Gallade. Another interesting card. Pre-Motion is a cool ability. Sensitive Blade is a cool attack. I think Gallade is going to work really well with Maxie's Hidden Ball Trick. But I don't really know, though, if that is going to be the case. Will it work? Who knows? So that's why I put it as an honorable mention. And that was all the honorable mentions. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe for more PCGO videos, or Pokemon videos if you want to call it that. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me what your favorite cards from Breakthrough are. Tell me what you think the best card is. Or even if you want to go far enough, you can put your top 10 best Breakthrough cards in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching, and peace out.